Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast. This is your place for all things automotive, the award-winning In Wheel Time car talk show. Just ahead, our story of the week. Later, Jeff has the racing calendar, Mars has This Week in Auto History, and I'll have the stories making automotive news headlines. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars. We always need more Jeff Zekin, Chief Engineer David Ainsley. I'm Don Armstrong, so glad that you could join us for our live version of this show right here on this Saturday morning. It's a pleasant Saturday here in Houston, Texas. We've got a big cruise-in coming up next week. It's the Easter Tailpipes and Tacos cruise-in at the Lupi Tortilla in Katy. Time now for our story of the week.
Okay, gather around people.
Mr. Mars, are you back with us?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because I'd like for you to participate in this if we have a little discussion here.
Oh, I got lots of things to say today.
Apparently not.
Oh my
But
God.
that's okay.
Oh, you're talking about here? Oh, okay.
Well, I'm not sure about here, there, or anywhere at this point of the day.
I understand.
So here's the story of the week. Communication breakdowns topped customer complaints about dealership service departments in 2025, appearing in nearly half of all negative online reviews. This is a story from Automotive News. That finding is prompting service managers to mine social media feedback for operational fixes, and some, including Shanahan Westfall, are responding to every review personally. Westfall, general manager of Heron Gear Infinity in Jackson, Mississippi, takes social media comments about his dealership seriously. He sees them as an opportunity to improve customer experience, especially if they're negative. He says, you may get a review in there where you're like, oops, we goofed up on that one, he said. And that's an opportunity for him, me, he says, to pick up the phone and just talk to that customer. Clear and consistent communication is crucial to good customer experiences, experts say. Unclear or infrequent information is still a major gripe customers have with their service experience. The 2026 Voice of the Consumer report by reputation management firm Wide Whale found, the two biggest drivers of consumer experience are communications and staff, they said. Communication friction was the top issue customers had with the service department in 2025, according to Wide Whale. Staff-related concerns ranked second. A report analyzed dealerships' monthly Google reviews in 2025 and identified specific topics and keywords to determine which issues appeared and whether they were positive or negative. In the report, communication was mentioned in 49% of negative service reviews, followed by staff mentioned in 40% of negative reviews. Jeff, I don't like the way you talk to me. That kind of stuff.
Yeah. So the attitude starting before the attitude starts.
Yeah.
You got an attitude going in.
Customers frequently complain online about unclear repair timelines. Well, if you ask the service department, so how long do you think this repair is going to take? And they say, 10 minutes. I'm going, who did you talk to? How do you know? Well, it's right here on my rundown on my
book.
screen. Did you actually call and talk to somebody about that? Is it true? 10 minutes?
Yeah.
I don't know of a dealership that fixes anything in 10 minutes.
Well, you got to.
You can't park the car in 10 minutes.
I know.
Pretty much. Speed is no longer a differentiator. It's a baseline expectation. It recommends fixed ops teams pivot from managing the clock to managing the experience. Other dealerships are following a similar approach. Stevens Cook Toyota, part of American Motors Group. American Motors Group? Okay, it's a group of dealers, I assume.
Yeah.
Negative social media comments helped Joe Castellano, the group's vice president of fixed operations, identify where his Toyota dealership was letting customers down on wait times. The Northern California group has 3 Toyota dealerships, 2 Volkswagen stores, and a single Chevy, Cadillac, and Alfa Romeo store. His Toyota dealerships advertised a 45-minute oil change, but a customer complained on social media that theirs took an hour and a half. That prompted Castellano to say, let's go really take a look at where we messed up. By keeping the parts in the bays and having a 99% accuracy in parts billing, they were able to shave off 15 to 20 minutes in an oil change, he said.
Wow.
They trimmed an additional 7 minutes, from 12 minutes to 5 minutes, off the oil change by using a quick drain plug that they installed in all of the cars that they sold.
There's a solution to this from the beginning, and that he shouldn't even have to do that. There's a process problem
Correct.
with the dealership.
Yeah.
And if it's a large dealership, you would need, well, let me back this up. If it's a small dealership, I get what he's doing, the personal touch. Hey, me and you, mano y mano, let's go for a cup of
Yeah.
coffee, blah, blah, blah. If it's a large dealership or a chain, say like your Classics or your Group 1s, you're going to have a committee that does that. If you got multiple locations, like your Honda, your Chevy, your Cadillac, all that you name there, you got a committee for that. You've got a CSI committee. You've got phone numbers that relate just for those complaints. So in this particular case, if he's doing that and making sure that they have the proper parts and on time in the bays, that's a process problem for that dealership. That's not a people problem. The people need to learn, and they need to be instructed on how to do that.
Yeah.
In
We
my
we used to
opinion.
have call it process improvement committees,
Exactly.
and they would look at it and say, "Here's this function that we do. How can we make it better, streamline
Exactly.
it, whatever?"
Mhm. Yep. Let's have a meeting to find out when our next meeting is. That gets
Exactly.
all lost. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, back in my day, which was a long time ago, the guy's name was Charlie, and he was the
Was he the blacksmith?
he was the quote unquote dispatcher.
Yeah.
So all of the cars that came in with multiple problems, he'd put all this stuff down on his sheet, along with all of the other stuff that was in the shop.
Yeah, log the
And he would
time.
assign, this repair guy to do this job, this repair guy to do this job, and this repair guy to do that. Today, I think it's much simpler, and most of the guys that do these things, other than oil changes and routine stuff like that, that one guy does it all.
You had an AC tech or two
Yes.
techs that's all they did was the AC jobs for that shop,
Right.
or front end or whatever the
Front
case.
end alignment, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
I think,
guys.
but these days, I think that, a mainline mechanic does all of the heavy duty stuff like front end alignments,
Right.
brake jobs, intake manifold stuff. They do it all.
They have apprentice programs. They have internships. So make them part of that process to improve that dealership. You got somebody that's maybe being paid minimum wage. They're a sponsorship or a co-op through a school. Let them be part of that process and have those wins when they make things better for the dealer.
Yes. Hello, Mars.
I will say one thing though that about the story that I'm kind of not real thrilled with. I mean, they're using feedback through social media, and that's where they're getting their comments from. And when I worked for a big communications company, we learned that people hiding at the
What
time they were
communications company was that?
well, it used to be called Southwestern Bell before it got overtaken by AT&T.
Okay.
But we learned that, I had people in New York and people in California, so we did a lot of conference calls. We learned that people would hide behind the phone. I mean, they could sit there and say a lot of things if they're not looking at you eye to eye. They got a lot more guts to say something.
Exactly.
And if you're hiding behind a keyboard, it's even more. I mean, just look at any of your social media accounts and see how nasty people are. A lot of things, they would never say that to somebody to their face. But they'll say it on the keyboard. So you have to kind of look at what you're trying to work with. How much value is it? Because it's costing you at least $150 an hour if you're a dealer.
But Mike, I think with these things, these are actual complaints. These aren't people just making stuff up just to
No.
diss somebody's dealership. I think these are actual. Yeah, I did have a problem with that with a 10-minute oil
Well,
change, whatever the case.
Yeah, I understand, but that's what I'm saying. You got to kind of balance that because I used to spend some time at the Chevrolet dealer because I grew up with a guy that was a service manager, and we would trade stories during the day. And I watched a lot of people that he knew that we went to school with, real nice guys out on the street, but it's like they put a foot on that parking lot of that dealership. They became total jerks.
Yeah.
And they would stay that way, and then you'd see them later on in the evening at the restaurant or something. Hey, how are you doing? After they just cussed you out all day.
I'm familiar with that. Yeah. Not in a dealership, though.
Yeah.
But I am familiar with that attitude thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have somebody kiss you on the cheek and then turn around and reprimand you and threaten you with your job.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's of course how they do it and stuff. I mean, it's one thing for somebody to tell you they had a problem with something that happened in your shop, But it's another thing for them to tell you you're a low lying rotten SOB because they had a problem in your shop. I mean,
Mike, somebody said that to
But they
you.
meant it in a good Christian way.
In a
Well,
good
now-
Christian way. Yeah.
yeah, that's when I started calling in quarterly meetings. Everybody came in to San Antonio. We sit down across from the table. Now, what do you got to say? And things changed a little bit.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, I think that part of being a manager is to understand that, hey, I've got a problem here because everybody, we tout the fact that these are 30-minute oil changes to compete with all of the oil change places out there. We're a dealership. We should do better than that. It's a person waiting for an hour and a half. Where did that break down? We told them that it would be 30 minutes, and now they're waiting an hour and a half to have the oil changed? No.
And if they've
Yeah.
got an oil change special and they screw that up, shame on them because they don't make a lot of money, if money at all, on an oil change. It's a halo effect. They want to pull your brakes. They want to look at your exhaust system. They want to check your car out. Just by
Or
doing an oil
get you
change.
in the new car showroom for a few minutes
Exactly.
while you're
So-
waiting.
If you're screwing something up that simple, maybe you shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
Well, you definitely got a problem there.
Unfortunately, the way that new cars are sold today, and especially if you're on a leaseholder, then you're going to go into the dealership when a car says it's time for an oil change, and you expect the oil change to happen quickly, not all day.
Yeah, particularly if you got an appointment.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And in most dealerships, I think most people these days are used to the fact that you really need to have an appointment. And what's wrong with that? We didn't have appointments. We'd have a line of cars all the way out to the feeder road.
That's for instance, mine's through General Motors, through a Buick dealership, Buick GMC. I do make an appointment because it is that brand. If you were a guy off the street and like the Maverick going into a Cadillac store, yeah, they're going to treat you a little different and probably put you behind.
When I think of Mavericks, all I think of is not the truck. I
The
think
car,
of the original
which were very
Maverick
cool
car.
also. I drive one. Hell yeah.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be fixing it. You'd have Mars auto mechanic.
Mars wouldn't
guy.
touch it.
No, not Mars. His
Not,
mechanic.
no, not a Ford. No. But no, you're right. I mean, most of the walk-ins back in our day was everybody. You didn't make many appointments. But nowadays, I believe that if you break,
Brand
you
specific.
don't make an appointment. You just go to the dealership. Otherwise, it is by appointment. As far as I know, all of them.
Yes. Once you got your foot in the door and the car's in the loop, so to speak, then they pretty much take it from there. And it's up to the service advisor, if you want to call them that. I guess that's what you call them today. That's
Yeah, I
what it's
think they
called.
still call them that.
Then it's up to that service advisor to relay to you the information. Hey, our tech looked at your car, and they're going to have to pass it on to another tech. He's a little bit backed up, so it's going to cost us a few more hours today. Hopefully we'll have it back, but I wouldn't bank on that. I think that tomorrow would be a better timeline for you.
Or depending on the issue too. If it's electrical, it's going to take a little longer to chase that down. If it's something like maybe a mapping unit or sensing unit or something, they could probably knock that out for you. But depending on the issue too.
Yeah. Well, there is that.
Yeah, those computers.
Mr. Mars, who replaced your exhaust manifolds on the truck?
Shop here in town. Most
so
of
it's
them
not a dealership?
No. I wouldn't go to a dealer for that. I mean, it was expensive, but I
Well,
went to
wait a
somebody
minute. So why wouldn't you go to a dealer for that?
because I found somebody that had done it on his own truck and knew what to do, and he had ordered and bought the proper tools to do it.
His, yeah.
So
To
is
do
he,
his.
is he a mechanic that other people go to, or is he?
Yeah, no. He's got a shop that he
podiatrist.
runs. He doesn't do any more of them. I mean, he did mine because I take the granddaughter's cars in there when I can't fix something. So he did it as a favor, but he said he won't normally do it because he's afraid he'll break a bolt. And even though he's got the tap and die, and it's like a template that he puts on the motor so that he can keep everything straight. And but he's afraid if he ever does break one, that he's liable to buy somebody a motor, so he don't do it very often.
I see. Okay. Well, it's interesting to note. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
All right, just ahead, Jeff has the racing calendar. Mars has This Week in Auto History. And I got lots of news stories. We're going to get a few of them in here coming up on the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. We'll be back right after this. The Easter Bunny's coming to the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, April 4th, 8 to 11 a.m., and you're invited too. Bring the kids and grandkids. It's a cruise in like you've never attended before. With a donation to Shirley's Kids, you'll get a free Loopy Tortilla breakfast taco. There'll be coffee and adult beverages, plus chili pepper trophies for the best hot rod, best modern classic, and best classic. There's no entry fee and no registration. Just bring your ride and the kids. Bad bunnies aren't allowed, but the Easter Bunny will be there, and he'll be full of joy to help make this Tailpipes and Tacos a very special one. Photo opportunities abound. The Enwell Time Car Talk Show will be streaming around the globe, and you could be selected to tell your car story to a global audience. It's the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In Easter Edition, Saturday, April 4th, 8 to 11 a.m. at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, located on 99 the Grand Parkway, just south of I-10, the Katy Freeway in Katy. Make plans now. Loopy Tortilla, East pretty good. Apple or Android, In Wheel Time podcast can be found everywhere, on the stream and through downloads. Whether you're on the road or at home and jonesing for a different kind of car talk show, give In Wheel Time a try. Honest new car reviews, fun, informative interviews with real car people, weekly automotive news, features like Jeff's Car Culture and Mike's Driving Destinations, all on In Wheel Time. Check us out on SiriusXM Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or while you're shopping on Amazon, through Amazon Music. InWheelTime.com has a list, and we know you love lists. We're at the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In at the Loopy Tortilla in Katy. If you can't make it, listen, watch here on InWheelTime.com, Facebook, and YouTube. If you missed that, you'll be able to connect through a podcast from your favorite podcast channel. Okay, time now for the racing calendar, and I know racing's all geared up, and we're at full speed ahead.
Oh boy, yeah. Well, it's full speed ahead, like you said, but it's really not a pleasant thing to follow anymore. And I'm just being a Debbie Downer on this, but you've got NASCAR.
You're being a little jerk, Jeff.
I'm being a jerk on this, but you got NASCAR at Martinsville for both the O'Reilly version, which is the old Xfinity series, and then you got the Cup guys. That's today and tomorrow. It's going to be on the CW and FS1 if you've got those channels. Indy racing, you've got the NXT, which is the lesser version series, and then you got the big boys on the Indy schedule. They are at Barber's Motorsports. Some of the qualifying was going on.
It's over in Atlanta, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe so, yes. And some of the qualifying was going on this morning. I watched a little bit of it on a rerun, but it was all good. Fun to watch. I like the Indy stuff. Formula One, they have the Japanese Grand Prix, which is this weekend, and then they're going to be off for several because of the conflict in the Mideast. The Bahrain GP and the Saudi Arabian GP Grand Prix is canceled or postponed for the next few weeks on that. NHRA is going April 9th through the 12th, and they're going
Wait
to
a minute, why did you pit? Oh, the bomb blew up the pit. I'm sorry. Never mind.
It's not pits, it's potholes.
Potholes,
There you go.
big ones.
There you go. And then, like I just said, NHRA April 9th through the 12th, and they're at the Winter Nationals In-N-Out Burger at Pomona. And that should pretty much wrap that stuff up, but it's very hard to be a fan following it when they're delayed, they're tape delayed, and all this other stuff.
Plan.
They're on channels.
I don't know who. Clearly, no one in their right mind would sign a television contract with somebody like FS1. Oh, we're on FS1. Well, I don't care. I can't get FS1. I choose not to pay for the subscription to it.
And beyond that, you've got okay, I'm going to watch a specific auto racing series. And you turn it on at 2 o'clock, and there's a Tiddlywinks championship from Alaska for another 20 minutes because they went into overtime. Now, who is going to stay for that?
Well, there is that.
It just grinds me.
Yeah,
It really does.
It grinds me too. That this television stuff. I don't know who writes the contract. I think that the series, the racing series, whichever one it is, in particular. NHRA comes to mind. Oh, well, if you want to watch the race online, then you're going to have to pay for that. Why? Because here's the deal. Mm-hmm. Why not take the income from the sponsorship online as opposed to having me buy the stupid ticket to get online to watch your stupid race?
Yeah, and it's not only in racing, but it's in other sports too, because the baseball, MLB, certain ball games are going to be on Apple TV rather than regular TV. So there we go. We're going to infiltrate other sports.
And a lot of that is whoever's writing the contract. They're not worried about actual viewership per se.
Guess who that is, Mike? A lawyer.
Exactly. All she's looking at is bottom line numbers. So you say you're going to pay me this much for my content that I'm going to give to you, and that's what they look for. It's a weird business model because
Morons.
So we went from the racing calendar to don't do it again.
To a big
well,
budget
and
session.
that's right. We can spend a lot of time doing that if we want.
Well, instead of doing that, why don't we move on to This Week in Auto History, Mr. Morris?
We can do that
Where are we at, Michael?
right here. Here
Okay,
we
you
go.
got it?
Here we go. Yes, sir. Got it. We're good. So this week in auto history. So we want to start with March 22, 1904. The slides are not working, Jeff. Can you try it?
Yes, sir.
So in 1904, Rolls-Royce Limited was announced. Now, what this was, I always kind of wondered about this, but Charles Rolls and Henry Royce are the ones that made the partnership. Now, this wasn't a hip-hop group or anything, but it's Rolls-Royce Limited. One of them was a real big in engineering, and the other one had a little...
Wait a minute. Didn't Rolls-Royce do car wash? No,
That's it. That's what I was thinking about. I knew it was something like that.
Rolls-Royce, not
Rose.
Rolls-Royce.
R. So this is the beginning of the beginning of the very prestigious luxury automobile that's out there in the world today. So then going on, we're going to go up to 1916. Now this is when BMW was founded. Now they actually started as an aircraft engineering manufacturer. So that was real big. Airplanes were becoming up, and they were building motors for them. And that's where they got their engineering expertise, per se, become known as an engineering. So when they began to build cars, then it all carried over in how well the engineering was and the enthusiast benchmarks that they were on in their engineering excellence. Then in 1965, Ford. Here you go, Jeffrey. Ford Motor Company introduces the LTD. I got that just for you, Jeff. I found that one, and there you go.
That's a beauty.
So the LTD was a luxury-oriented full-size car when full-size cars were full-size. And it started bringing the upscale features to the broader market, such as the family and the station wagons, and to bring in that little bit of luxury into the American sedans. And it's an era when comfort, size, and smooth V8 power defined success for these vehicles. Then moving up to 1968, Dodge Charger got a redesign. Now, the red car in the top left-hand corner of your screen there, that is the new design. And then right below it, you're going to see a couple of shots of the older design, the 66, 67, and how it changed so much and became actually much more popular with the newer designs than what it had. Some of the years had hidden headlights that when it first came out, had the aggressive styling, and it kind of looked more racy than the other ones did. So this was a real good move for the Dodge Charger, and this is what you're going to see in most of the movies that have that car as a feature car. Then in 1970, the Datsun, however you want to say it.
Oh, my God. That's
depends on
Texas. Hey, I got me a Datsun over here.
Well, I had a Datsun B210 for a while.
God, I'm sure you had a Datsun B210.
All right.
So the 240Z was really growing in popularity. It was really, everybody wanted one of these because it was a little two-seater. It was a hot little car. It ran really well, had the 4-speed transmission. It was just a cool car to have. And it really brought in a lot of the other Japanese automakers. As people started looking at this, they said, well, let me see what else is out there.
My brother had several.
Did he?
He might still have one. Yeah.
Good for him. It'd be a good thing to have.
Yep.
Then in 1993, Dodge redid the Ram truck. Now, this is the new Ram truck design whenever they went to the big truck style, if you will, the big rig-inspired grille and the big muscular stance with the broad rolling fender wells on them.
What year was this?
1993.
Okay.
And it kind of changed everything Dodge did. And some of the others, they didn't really copy that. But if you look at them now, they really did kind of go to that bigger, bolder styles, particularly like in the front ends and stuff. You can't hardly see it in the hood.
They're huge. You can't even get them in the damn garage.
Right, you can't check the oil hardly without having a stepladder. So that was this week in automotive history. Some of the things that we found that we thought were rather interesting. Learn something new every day.
All right, for all you baseball fans, Major League Baseball has gone to the bullpen after more than 2 decades of having Chevrolet as one of its top sponsors. Ford is replacing Chevy as MLB's official auto partner. Uh, as a matter of fact, the sponsorship includes everything from the World Series to Little League Baseball and softball. An organization already supported locally by many of its dealers, the automaker also will be the presenting sponsor of MLB's July 4th celebration for the nation's 250th anniversary.
Wow.
The partnership is about honoring tradition while putting somebody from Ford CMO Lisa Matarazzo.
Chief Marketing Officer.
I was wondering what that was.
So
cares
when,
what she
when the
said?
commercial starts, see the USA in your
Ford.
LTD,
Yeah, and your LTD. That's it. Your Galaxy
in your
500.
Mustang.
That's it.
Zoox will start testing its purpose-built robo-taxis in Miami and Austin,
Oh, boy.
part of a
Here we
coast-to-coast expansion as rival Tesla faces delays in its autonomous ride-hailing rollout across 7 U.S. cities. Have you seen a Zoox?
No.
Oh, my God.
I
Wait,
saw
what?
the other one, though.
It looks like a phone booth with wheels sticking out at the front and the back. It is just
Okay.
It is just a horrendous-looking thing. I wouldn't get in it. I'd rather walk. Zoox is also growing its current service areas in San Francisco, perfect, and Las Vegas, where its carriage-style vehicles have driven a combined 350,000 miles.
Wow.
Service in Austin and Miami will begin in limited areas with its purpose-built robo-taxi, the company said. Zoox has tested in those cities since mid-2024 using separate fleet vehicles. Oh, my God. When you see this thing, you got to go, no?
San Francisco, it's all the hills. It's on the side of a mountain. I mean,
Well, no, it's fitting for San Francisco. Well, actually, any place in California. Let me do this. Dealership employees who post about vehicles for sale in their personal accounts could put the stores in legal jeopardy if they don't follow certain rules. Federal Trade Commission will treat advertising generated by employees as though it came from the dealership itself. Dealership advertising has come under intense scrutiny since March 13th when the FTC announced Christopher Muffrage, director of the agency's Bureau of Consumer Protection, sent letters to 97 dealer groups on the suspicion that they violated at least one of 6 illegal advertising practices. If you advertise it, you better sell it at the price that you advertised. Does not include tax. Okay? Just like you would go to the grocery store, you pay taxes on your groceries, you pay taxes on your car.
Yeah, sales
It's the
tax.
only exception to the rule. If you say, we've got a brand new Ford F-150 on sale here for $40,000, you better sell it for that price, and it better be on the lot. On the lot. That's another one of those rules.
Yeah.
So be looking forward.
Lost leader.
Yeah, to more stupid stuff.
Dealer
like that.
trades.
And Stellantis North America design head Scott Kruger said the automaker is still passionate about Chrysler, which has had to scrape by as a minivan-only brand since discontinuing the 300 sedan in 2023. During an overview of the company's design operations, Kruger said Chrysler is very much alive and well and that his team has been busy behind the scenes. He declined to share any details about the plans for the brand's future ahead of a Stellantis investor presentation coming up in May. I think they're coming back, to be honest with you. They need a luxury arm.
They need a
to the
shot
brand.
in the keister to get them going there.
All right. Hey, we'd love to hear from you. Just shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. We are back after this break. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. The award-winning In Wheel Time Car Talk Show now reaches millions of folks around the globe each year. Check us out on InWheelTime.com, YouTube, Facebook, and don't forget our podcasts. Catch our live show every Saturday, 10 to noon Central Time. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show has informative automotive guests, new car reviews, along with popular features including driving destinations, Jeff's car culture, the latest car news, cruise-ins, and racing days. It's all on InWheelTime.com. Join us. That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.